Hey Ariel, it's Professor Brian here. I just finished looking at your Clark and Mayer presentation thing, and I got to tell you, there's some really good things in here, and I just want to bring them out and let you know what I was thinking with them. Pardon my upward gaze because I'm looking at my board up in here, but one of the things that you did, I think, was you kind of threw out some really key, memorable words, which really doesn't have as much to do with what we're talking about, but that's one thing that I really noticed. I mean, there was some single words that you throw out there that, if added up at the end, you really kind of get what's going on with the coherence principle. All right, one of the things you said was the whole idea of this minimalist thing. I mean, and that's really what we're doing, right? We want things that are uncluttered. We want minimalist. We want to make sure that we don't have extraneous pictures. We don't want extraneous words, right? Unnecessary things. And I think you did a really good job of telling your audience when it is that we get in trouble with this. And usually, or a lot of times, it's with the best interest in mind. Like, we want to be more specific, right? Or we want to add them for interest, so that so that you're making your presentation more appealing, right? But the thing is, and it goes back to our bottom line, right, is that we need to be super, super intentional about what our purpose is, what our goal is, what our objective is, and so forth. And if that's going to detract from what our overall goal is, then it needs to come out. If it's going to distract from that, it needs to come out. And so that is a really good case that you made. Then I'm looking at, and also the research that you provided and the specifics with the Clark and Mayer and the research and all that other sort of stuff added to it clearly as well. And then I want to just talk about the examples. I keep saying this over and over again. The examples are just such a compelling way of explaining and visualizing it. It's like it embodies the whole multimedia thing in the first place, right? It just gives that such impeccably accurate explanation as to what it was. And the Bill Nye, when you started talking about the Bill Nye thing, and it was on there, and you were kind of introducing it, I was just jumping up and down. I was like, I cannot wait to see how bad this is. And you nailed it completely. I mean, he's talking about crabs or something, right? And we don't know any of that stuff because of all the nonsense that he does before it. And it just nails your point, right? It's like you're trying to add interest. Right, we're trying to captivate the audience, but is that what he's really doing there? And you could argue either way, that he's kind of entertaining and he's kind of trying to do science and stuff, and he really needs to, grasp his young audience, which are middle school students and things like that. So, is that his purpose? And I don't know, but it's certainly in our case, when we're looking at the science and so forth, it's a little bit absent. Now, on the second example, you just made the perfect explanation that these two things are very, very simple, and what you noticed about how you're only showing one at a time. I mean, that's a very, very, very granular observation, but it's a very, very good one. It really makes the difference. And as you were saying that, I was imagining what it would look like if they were both there at the same time. I might be gazing back and forth, and that would have been harmful to my learning. All right, so well done with that. The one thing it was missing, though, in your thing is telling me exactly what you're going to do in your project. I know that you talked about we need to be mindful of these things in our projects, right? But you didn't tell me exactly what you're doing. All right, so if you want to do that, you want to add that in, you can resubmit, and I'll go for the full credit on that, right? I want part of this assignment is I want to make sure that everyone's thinking about using this to think ahead about what they're going to do in their project. Okay, so really nice job. We'll see you later.